Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another unboxing for Elder Signs, the part of the Arkham Horror Files series. It's the Omens of the Deep expansion. So we started off in the museum, and we get to travel to different locations. Now we're gonna see what's in the on this boat ride. Probably nothing good, right? So we're gonna get all the typical stuff we're gonna get in our game. More new investigators. New spell cards, new allies, unique and common items, and skills which can be used in any game. New ancient ones which can be used. But then there's some special adventures. So the base game had where you just played off of one deck, all the same, and then the other expansions start progressing. So you have a brand new adventure deck to do. And it's setup tells you how to do it for Harley's Rising. Tells you how to set this all up. So instead of just having 6 spacings, you end up in the same with the Arkham set and the Pharaoh set, and I'm assuming the Ice set, which I don't have yet, so I can't say that for sure, but I'm assuming it's the same from what I've seen. Is you set them up like this, so you have 3 and 3. But the big difference here is there's also, versus like the Arkham one, so having based on ones, you get to find out which ones are more difficult, which ones are harder. So you kind of get a choice of maybe where you might want to go. Is there's actually stage indicators. So there's 2 different decks. You're going to be playing stage 1 and play stage 2. And while you're going through, we have a new entrance area. As you keep track of this dark water rising, and if the Omen gets to the end and it rises too high, then we switch to the second deck. Which actually makes it kind of neat. So actually playing 2 different decks in here. And I think you have to get to the second deck to fight the Elder one. I'm not positive on it. I don't think he awakens until you do that. Of course, you might not want to fight him. You don't really want to. But I think once you hit the second one, then he can come out. And these are called the Pacific Adventures. Shiny adventure cards are refer to Pacific. Only affect this game. Otherwise, they're listed as like Arkham or Pharaoh, or I don't know if it's called Pharaoh, and it's something else. But they're referred to by set. So this has special Mythos cards. So they're gonna have a different back. We have a new Doom icon. Some entry effects, split roar for penalties. This is all stuff in so some split roar penalties were included in Blessing or a Curse. Introduced in Unseen Forces. Not playable, must choose one without. So basically, yeah, some of them will have options. And then all these rewards we have. And then some of these we've seen in the other expansions, but they're new per the base game. And then of course there's the amulet stuff and omens. Alright, let's just jump in and start looking at a bunch of this. That's the best way to figure it out, isn't it? Oh, and this investigator card does not want to come out of the box. There we go. So, right off the bat, we're going to have the Wreckage. Oh, that's the bad, that's the other side. We're going to start with the Ultima Thule. So this is our entrance card. So if an investigator is on Ultimate Thule at the start of his clock phase, he may pass the listed cost. He may pay the listed cost to choose any of the investigators to do one of the following: 5, gain an ally, skill, or advance 1 omen. 4, trophies, gain a unique item or spell. 3, common item or clue. 2, regain 2 sanity or 2 stamina. Or 1, discard the top card of the adventure deck. And then we're going to be playing through the Dark Waters. If the Omen track moves to the first or the last space of the track, resolve its corresponding effect. So if it gets to the bad side over here, a Deep Legion monster appears. If you just do there, you can travel to stage 2. And you only have to travel to stage 2 when you want. But that's where a lot of the omens are going to be, or elder signs are going to be. So I think there's probably, I'm not for sure, but I'm assuming there's probably a couple here and there in the first one. But if you really want to win and win faster, you have to go there. But it's also harder. So you kind of get that option. It's like, okay, we can spend some time going around, but we have to head towards the, eventually head towards the second part, advance farther, play the harder deck if you want to win. If there are 4 more Deep Legion monsters on adventures, discard 1 Broken Amulet token and flip the Ultimate Thule entrance to the Wreckage side, and travel to stage 2. When you travel to stage 2, this card will flip. So if too many Dark Ones come out anyhow, you're going to have to go ahead and flip it over, so there's the other side. And now we have the Wreckage. The investigators on the Wreckage at the start of this clock phase. You may pay the cost of either 5 to gain a common item, or 4 to regain 1 sanity and 1 stamina. So you lose a lot of options. And then this one flips over to become the Amulet of Riley, which is going to freeze all your dice. If the Omen token would advance, move 1 Deep 1 Legion on the adventure. Move 1 Deep Legion from the adventure game instead. If the Omen would retreat, a monster appears instead. And then you can get tokens to cover up those trinkets there by various things to basically free your dice up. Alright, let's look at some of our baddies, our ancient ones. We have Hydra, Mother of Madness. I can see she's going to have either Doom tokens or Hydra Legions. Each time an investigator with claiming adventure card as a trophy, discard that trophy unless the investigator loses 1 stamina or sanity. Dagon, who's a father. Rise of the Deep Ones. When a Deep 1 Legion monster marker is discarded, place the next discard instead. Deep 1 Legion monster marker remains next discard even after it awakens. And then we get Cthulhu, who we've seen before. We get another one of him. The stars are right. Each time after midnight effect is resolved, 1 investigator loses any combination of 2 sanity or stamina. Each time another otherworld card is put into play, a Deep Legion monster appears. So you get the 3 of those. Alright, I'm ready to get some new investigators. We have Daisy Walker, the Librarian. Once per day, when a secured dice is removed from one of Daisy's spells to a completed task, she may spend 1 sanity to regain that spell instead of returning it face down to the bottom of the deck. George Barnaby, the Lawyer, Knowledge is Power. Once per roll during your discard, George may change 1 die to show 1 die showing a terror result to a 2 investigations result. Odd but very specific. Hank Sampson, the Farmhand. Once thick-skulled. Once per day when Hank would lose sanity or stamina, he may prevent 1 point of that loss. Yeah, so that's super helpful. Luke Robinson, the Dreamer. Experienced Dreamer. Once per turn when attempting to resolve an otherworld card, Luke may change 1 die result to any other result, determine if he is able to complete the task. That's assign him to complete them otherworlds. Lola Hayes, the Actress. Improv. Once per turn, Lola may discard 1 skill to gain 1 skill from either the top or the bottom of the deck. Lola may look at the bottom card of the skill deck at any time. Just to kind of pick and choose what she wants. Ming Fai Fan, the Secretary. Synergy. Ming may allow other investigators to use her common items and unique items each time she or another investigator uses 1 of her common items or unique items. She regains 1 sanity. Roland Banks, the Fed. Intuitive. Each time a Mythos card is resolved after setup, Roland gains 1 clue. And finally, Zoe Samaras, the Chef. Killer Instance. Once per turn, when attempting to adventure with a monster, Zoe may change 1 die result to any other result before determining if she is able to complete the attack. Alright, and let's look at some of our monster cards. So we're going to get the two different decks. Zoom out a bit here. Stage 1 and Stage 2. Different colored borders, so it's kind of like above the sea and below the sea. So we'll start with this one. They're going to start off with two special cards. They're going to start out, and then they're going to be like the Arkham set. They're going to have three cards per location. So we're going to have Dark Water. Each one will have a special effect down here, because you may advance the clock to gain one clue. So that's what you can see you're doing, and then you can actually hop on these cards and you flip them over, and then now you can try and complete them. So some of them you might leave out for their effect, some you might want to get rid of. So maybe a couple of Dark Waters. So now, unlike Arkham, where there's 3 per set, there's a lot more per each one. So there's Deep One attacks. I think there's 6 per each. Trouble at Sea. Staggered Remnants. And Solitary Island. And then, well, let's look at those guys. Let's look at these two starter cards first. So we're going to start with Calling. So this one's fairly easy to do. So this one starts in play, no matter what. It says put Echoes of Dream into play, special adventure to play. So you gotta beat this to advance like the story, essentially. At midnight, retreat the Omen token by 1. So if you keep this out too long, you're constantly gonna be fighting against that. And then if you do that, you get the Echoes of the Dream, and each one loses sanity points. It's even worse. And you have to complete them in order. If the Omen token is on the rightmost space, receive this reward twice, and then you get a relic. So if you can beat this when it's all the way over on the good side, then you can actually get a bunch of extra stuff to help you out. Alright, then let's see what we got here. So at the bottom there's our relic, or our relic token. So it either advances or goes Omen token, sorry. Not relic. So I have Abandoned Shack. Blood Pack. Rites of the Sea. Ritual Dance. Transformation. Mutated Fisherman. Ancient City. It's kind of neat to have monster ones below it. I don't know why they chose to do it below it for some reason, but it's still neat. Coral Reef. Blasted Ruins. Idol of Riley. Cavern of Eyes. Sunken Temple. Mutiny. Deep One Ambush. Visions of Death. Grasping Tentacles. Homesick. Pirate Attack. Bloodlust. Arcane Binding. Don't see too many with 4. Shrieking Deep One. Devious Skulker. Ravenous Deep One. Oh, look at that one. Could be very easy or very terrible. Deep One Raiders. Heeding the Call. Maelstrom. Cathyla Whispers. Unnatural Storm. Those Time Forgot. And Feeding Frenzy. Like down your choice between do I need an ally or do I need to move them. Sometimes you don't need to move that Omen marker. It's already at the end. That's kind of neat. And then if you advance the ship, you get rid of that deck. to get my sleeves on these cards. Then we advance to deck 2, which is going to be Riley Rising and the Sweeper Awakens. So we play that one first. At midnight, I have 1 Doom to the Doom Tracker. If you win, put the Sweeper Awakens Special Adventure into play. And that one, you do 4 Omens if you can beat it, which will definitely help you. At midnight, 1 Investor must lose either 1 stamina or 1 sanity. Our different areas here are going to be Alien Shores, Corpse City, Nightmare Breach, the Citadel, and Vault of the Starspawn. So we're going to get a Sleeping Giant. Run. Just run. Crystallized Horror. Out of the Darkness. So you see a lot more Omens appearing on, or Elder Signs appearing on here. Death from Above. Summoning to Serve. Sanctuary. Looking at the other worlds. The Dream. Lost Arcana. The Beast Within. Horrific Statue. The Statuette. Eldritch Summoning. Echoes of the Past. Crystals of the Elder Things. Oppressive Silence. Unbound Nightmare. Corruption. Reality Fracture. Front of Nightmares. Onyx Guardians. Surrounded. Ornate Chest. And I get one of the relic pieces. Ever Watching. Sudden Madness. Low Tide. Not Alone. Footprints in the Sand. Final Resting Place. Carved Warning. And Molten Elder Sign. So that was all of our various things there. Our various adventure cards. So like always, we're going to get a bunch of little tokens for the players. They're also going to get the little tokens for the relics. So there's a good side and a bad side. And there's going to be a yellow one. Blue and yellow. So I think it's because you place them face down. And then you don't know which one you're going to get. So the yellow, red, and the green one. That way you mysteriously don't know which one you're going to grab first. And then here's a little Omen marker. Just a little steering wheel ship with an eye in it. Then we have a bunch of monsters. Now, this one's kind of interesting because all the other games have had... or all the other expansions have at least a couple of new monsters. This has a stack of Deep Ones. So Deep One Legion. This monster appears on another adventure unless you discard 1 common item. So basically, you beat these guys, they're going to come back. And they're going to have different effects. So like this one's going to say discard 1 skill. Ally. Ally. Spell, trophy, it's like 2 for each. Unique, common, clue, so we should have Elder Sign, unique item, and skill. So that's kind of interesting. So they only use these guys, which only work for this expansion. I mean, I suppose you could use them for any other one. You could mix them in. It's not going to hurt anything. And then they're all going to have a bunch of different abilities. But I like that they make them red, make them stand out, so that way you know if you're putting them in there or not. But also just drawing these, draw these from like a blind bag or a cup or a bag or something, so you wouldn't know if you're drawing these ones or not. But yeah, they didn't add any other ones that technically, like the green tokens, which should go with any other ones. But they did add some interesting ones. They have blue ones now as well. These are called missions. So this can say, purify the world. You may fulfill this mission to discard a Mythos card as it is drawn without resolving it. So basically you unlock this and you get to beat a Mythos for free. Sacrifice to make. You may fulfill this mission to remove a Doom token from the Doom track. I think you have to spend that amount, the 5. I think that's what you have to spend after you beat this. You may fulfill this mission to return all other monsters from the adventure to the Monster Cup. A wave of destruction. These are kind of nifty, just things to add into the game. Walking the ley lines. You may fulfill this sign to gain one mission to gain 1 Elder Sign. And the last one is Light of Reason. You may fulfill this to gain 6 clues. Ooh, that could be very useful, could be very bad. Gaining clues is always good. I just mean the using a clue could be bad. Or not bad, but useless, I guess would be the term. So then when we get to the Mythos deck, we have 2 Mythos decks as well. We have the green and the blue one. So then they actually change based on which one you're playing as well. So that's actually really cool. Alright, so let's fly through these pretty quick. Like the other videos, if you've seen those, I don't spend too much time reading through all these because there are a lot of the same things repeating. But I like Man Overboard. Says, this is kind of neat because it looks like you have options. So you can leave them to the deep and do this, or you can rescue them and retreat the Omen token by 1. So instead of getting double effects, you actually have options on these ones. It's kind of neat. Crashing waves. You seek calm waters or sail on through. I like the idea of getting options to do stuff. Visions of the Dreamer. Call of the Deep. Jewel Crown Corruption. Rumors of Treasure. Sky of Darkness. Underwater Ruins. Caught in a Vortex. Clear Skies. Supply Shortage. So add 1 to the Doom counter to get the other guys locked for today. Or retreat the only token by 2. The investigated 1 common item. So I guess it's whether you can afford it to go back by 2 or if you have to let a die go. Unstable Relics. The Dreamer Stirs. Ghost Ship Sighted. Lights on the Water. Siren Song. Dissatisfied Crew. Deep One-Sighted. Uncharted Waters. And Spreading Disease. And then if we jump to the second part, the blue ones, we go underwater after a ship sinks, we get Resonating Rubies. So it's like we're going to have a lot of the same idea, like the red ones will be the same, some of the bottom might be the same effects, just different names. Lost in the City, Watching Eyes, Separated from Friends, Unintelligible Voices, The City Shakes, The Winged Shadow, The Messenger Watches, Deep Ones Prowling, Voices of the Sleeper, A Rift Appears, A Place to Rest, Relics of Old, Lifelike Statue, Feeling Dread, Overwhelming Despair, Price of Power, the boat moves backwards, or no, time moves backwards, the boat, Running Out of Time, and Burden of Greed. Now we have a new card, well, a new type that was added in the Arkham set, but we have more of them. They're the blue cards. They are skill cards. They're extra little abilities that you can get. So you have Affluence. Each time you draw one or more unique item after setup, draw an additional unique item. Then choose one to discard, keep the other. Discard at any time to draw a unique item. Leadership. Once per day, before another investigator determines if a task can be completed, you may reroll one die. Marksman. Once per day, you may cause an investigator on an adventure with a monster to reroll up to 2 dice after failing the roll. That's helpful. Skullduggery. Each time you draw one or more common item after setup, draw an additional common item, choose one, keep one, discard to draw a common item. Resilience. Discard any time if you would be devoured to regain 3 sanity and 3 stamina instead. Ooh, that's an awesome card. Tenacity. Once during a turn when receiving a clue as a reward, gain 1 sanity or stamina. Discard to gain a clue. Evasiveness. Once per day, you may ignore 1 entry effect. Moxie. Each time you draw 1 or more skill cards, choose an additional, choose to keep 1, or discard to draw 1. Diligence. During your turn, you may change a lore to a terror. Discard any turn to change all lore to terror results. So that's actually kind of a neat card. Terror are usually badges if you have them. You could activate the terror effects, but they're so hard to get too because they're only at one side of a green die. And some of them need like 2 or 3 of those, so that could be definitely helpful. Composure. Once during your turn, you may change a peril to a terror result. Nice, you do that for that one too. And then once Clairvoyance, turn peril into lore. And Martial Prowess, turn terror into peril. It's kind of nice, goes all the way around. Like you normally trade items and allies with other players. I would say you have to house rule, I think, whether you can trade skills. I almost feel like you get a skill, you're kind of stuck with that skill. Basil Elkin. Discard this card to put an otherworld card into play. These are allies. Gustav Johansson. You may place 1 sanity token on this card to cancel an at midnight effect on the adventure before it be resolved. Discards for 2 tokens on it. And then Randolph Carter. During your turn, you may place 1 sanity token on this card if you are an otherworld card to reroll any of your die. Then we're going to get our common items. Gambler's Dice. After rerolling, discard to reroll any of your dice. Blunderbuss. Discard when you fail an adventure before suffering penalties. Defeat 1 monster on that adventure. And make it easier for the next time. Bandages. Discard on your turn to choose any investigator to regain 1 sanity and 1 stamina. We got some spells here, a couple of them. Azure Flame. Gets you 2 spots. Inner Beast. Discard after you roll to change any number of results to peril. And then Third Eye, discard your reroll to change any to lore. And unique items, we have a lightning gun. Discard at any time a monster appears, you immediately discard that monster. The Golden Sword of Yal-Tala gets you 1 of the dice. And our last card is the Koshep of the Abyss. Discard after an investigator moves to an adventure with a monster Move that monster to any other adventure of your choice. So that's super helpful too. Pretty much all the cards are super helpful. Haven't had any issues with any of the cards. Which is why I recommend, if you like the base game, buy the expansions, because even if you like play the expansion set and you're kind of like, okay, that was sort of fun, but I like the original stuff better, a little bit easier, or vice versa. You really love Omens of the Deep, or you really love Gates of Arkham. You really love the expansion. Play whichever module you really like, but you have all the investigators, all the ally cards and skill cards and event cards and all these other extra things to add to the game to just give you more options. Alright, so that was Omens of the Deep. Check out the other videos. See you guys next time. Bye.